How's it going, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about the FV4202, or more. It's going to be more or less a review. Basically, yesterday, or no, sorry, the day before, I free marked this thing, and yeah, I just kind of want to make a review of this tank before it kind of just gets left, because I don't plan on actually playing this tank anymore, because this tank, it's bad. Like, it's very bad. If we actually go quickly and compare it to other tanks, which I'll go and do in a second, you'll see that it just doesn't stack up against anything. It's got no redeeming features. It's got nothing that makes it exciting. It's just a very, very average, if not below average tank. And honestly, to get the free marks on this thing was just stupid. You see, it's like 2.5k. You're like, oh, that's not too bad. It's bad to be able to do it in this thing. Like 2.5k, you're gonna have to rely on a lot of assistance because damage-wise, you have 2.1 DPM. Nearly 2.2, but 2.1. Like, you fire and fire and fire, and it just does nothing. Just quickly, I'll just tell you right now that how bad this actually is. If we go and have a look at, say, this tank, STA2, right? Now, this tank isn't the best in the world, but 2.3k, nearly 2.4. Even like something like, oh, actually, that's not no equipment. What can we quickly go and look at? The Hawk 30, which is some kind of like god tank, has the best gun, and it's a light tank on any premium medium. Like, it's insane. I mean, besides Progetto, but that's something special. Like, this gun, compared to the FV, it's just ridiculous. Like, the FV, right? Here's how stupid this is. APCR, 258. Respectable. It's a tier 8 premium. It's more than enough to go through some tanks at tier 10 that are super heavy. You're going to struggle a little bit with the Type 5, but you can aim for the weak points, and 50% of the time you'll pen. So it's not ideal, but it works. And it's APCR. That's the main issue with it. Right? Hawk 30, 250 pen with heat. Like, and the heat rounds go faster than the APCR. So maybe I'll review the Hawk 30 at some point, but this gun on this tank, like, look at it. 240 alpha, 5.6 second reload. 230 alpha, 6.3 second reload. I just don't even know. Anyway, let's go and quickly have a look at the stats in actual Tanks GG, and I can show you exactly what I mean by how bad this tank actually is compared to other tanks. So, how bad is this tank compared to other tanks? So, I've got here the TVP VTU, which I think we can all agree is one of the worst tanks at tier 8. The TV4 Mod 1, which is, again, not a great premium medium, but, you know, compared to this tank, it looks absolutely amazing. The STA2, which is, again, is kind of similar to the FV. It kind of does and doesn't have armor, and has that decent-ish gun. T44-100, which is the best single-shot tank that you could get at tier 8 premium, in my opinion at least. The AMX CDC, which is not the best, but not the worst, because this thing exists. And this thing. This is not the tier 10 chieftain. This is the tier 8 chieftain. And the tier 8 chieftain is an actual pile of, well, it's not very good. If you ask anyone that has this tank, it has a massive cupola, no armor anywhere, and the gun doesn't work. It's just very, very slow. And still, it has more DPM than the FV4202. If you actually have a look at the penetration values of this tank, then it's not that bad. 226 is fine, but, you know, you actually have to hit stuff to be able to, you know, use your penetration, and you don't hit anything in this tank, which I'll move on to in a little bit. Damage-wise, 230, and everything else has a bit more alpha than it. Yep. Even the reload times, they're shorter. It still has more alpha than it. Good job, Wargaming. Don't worry, you definitely didn't forget about this tank. Like, 230 alpha? Nah, it's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Give it a long reload as well. Because why not? The TVP VTU is using the big gun. I mean, you might as well just use the big gun on this tank. Like, it doesn't really make any difference. So yeah. But even, for example, tanks that have 250 damage, T44-100, has a shorter reload than it. I mean, T54 Mod 1 has the exact same reload as the FV, but does 250. What? How does this make sense? I mean, fair enough. Like, this tank does have a longer reload than the FV, not by much, but at least it is doing 240 alpha. Like, so therefore it does get more DPM. Although it's only like 10 more DPM. So this tank is like nearly on par with this, but it is actually a little bit better than the FV. Potential damage, you got 11,000. Everything else has more. I mean, doesn't really make any difference. Ammo capacity, again, 50's fine. Like, you're never really going to run out of ammo. Shell velocity, I mean, I suppose it gets okay shell velocity. You can fire premium with it, and that gets even better shell velocity. So, yeah. I mean, generally, the gun is the worst thing about this tank. As you can see, you're going to be firing for a long time to be able to get any sort of damage out of this tank. And like even longer, the fact that a TVP VTU can out DPM you is depressing. Like, genuinely depressing to see that. And even the Chieftain T95 will out DPM you. But everything here is better DPM wise. And also has more alpha than you. So it's not even like you could effectively trade with them. Because you're going to go around the corner, you'll both fire, they'll do more damage than you. And then you back off, you do the same thing. You're just going to keep taking more and more damage. They'll kill you before you can kill them. What? Okay. Gun handling wise, this is what I mean by it doesn't hit anything. Aim time, 2.2 seconds. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Compared to... Oh, wait. Oh, it is quite bad. Yes, 2.3 for the TVP VTU. But, I mean... Oh, look, it has better terrain resistance. Or, sorry, not terrain resistance. Better traverse dispersion. So, every time that you turn the turret in this tank, in the FV, the thing blooms like the size of your screen. Every single time you want to just sit still and aim, it takes forever. And it's not because of this ultra long aiming time. It's because it's got so much bloom from where you've been moving or turning the turret every single time that it's taking forever. So it'll be like, oh, into it. Whereas all of these, yeah, no problem. T44-100, nah, don't worry about that. You know, just 0.12, no problem. Nearly at 0.2 over here. T54 Mod 1 has about the same. T54 Mod 1 is not a good tank. I wouldn't recommend the T54 Mod 1 either. But if you're going to be playing either a T54 Mod 1 or an FV4202, I'd pick the T54 Mod 1 because this tank... You know, there's a common theme that I don't really like this tank. Yeah. Don't know why. Mobility-wise, I mean, can you see all the red here? That's terrain resistance. Not that it matters, because the bloody thing doesn't even go very fast. 50 top speed, which is around the average for a tier 8 medium. However, the engine power is useless. It also has a useless power to weight. So it means nothing. This tank will take ages to reach 50 kilometers an hour. Because, especially if you're going up a hill, you'll almost be at a standstill. If you're going up Himmelsdorf, things like, I don't know, a T28 prototype will almost overtake you. It's quite bad. Yeah, it weighs a lot. It has no power and no power to weight. The only thing that's worse than it is the Chieftain, and that's because it's kind of a heavy medium. Yeah, if you look at the actual kind of effective kind of traverse speed and all of that on medium, hard, and soft, everything's better than it. Like, the only thing is that it's got good terrain resistance, which means nothing really, because, well, I mean, if this thing had bad terrain resistance, you probably just wouldn't move. So yeah, armor and health wise, you might look at this and think, 200 armor for the turret. That's pretty good actually. No, it's not. And I'll show you in a second why it's not. But hull armor wise, the hull armor's actually not that bad. If you manage to bait some shots into the upper hull armor, then you can actually bounce quite a few. But as soon as they shoot your turret, it's going to pen. Unless they get stupidly unlucky and hit above the turret, and then they'll bounce off, but that's fine. Health-wise, 1.4, about the average, like plus minus, 50 to 100. It's about the average of that. Now, right here for the miscellaneous, most of this stuff doesn't really matter. I mean, view range, it's got 10 more view range than almost everything apart from the CDC. So most of this stuff doesn't really matter. However, fire chance, 20%. Why? Like, everything else, 15, 12, 10. I mean, I don't know why this has 20% fire chance. Also, another... I mean, I don't really know quite how to explain this, to be honest. For some reason, the shells cost 680 credits a shot for 230 alpha. Just look at how much these shells cost. And remember, this 250 alpha, 240 alpha, 240 alpha, 240 alpha, 240 alpha, 320 alpha. I mean, this isn't a premium, so it's not going to earn that many credits, but you get what I mean. Why does it cost so much? Like, everything about this tank is almost useless. The only thing it has going for it is it's got okay view range, okay terrain resistance, and that's about it. Like, it's so hard to say good things about this tank compared to everything else. And like, these tanks are not amazing, but it makes them look amazing compared to the FV. I will quickly go and show you now the armor model of this tank, because yeah. Okay, so the armor of this tank, T54 Mod 1 gun I've got here, which has 190 pen. You can see right there. As you can see, you got something very interesting about this tank. It's called the overmatch mechanic. Well, almost the overmatch mechanic, but you can basically pen all of this pretty reliably. As long as it doesn't get kind of too hull down, which it can do. You can use your gun depression like this. And if it's like this, then it's going to be a bit harder to pen. It's actually almost impossible to pen if it's like this. However, you can just fire at these cheeks either side or underneath like this, and you will pen it kind of reliably. So if you're face hugging one of these or something, and it's like this, for example, like this, so it's a little bit taller than you, and you can't pen up here, but I mean, if you're taller than it right there, then you can go straight either side, or just, low premium, and you'll go through this every time, pretty much. Yeah, the turret is not good. And if you say meet something that actually has decent pen, let's say something like the STA2, just for example, you can pen this kind of reliably. 60% of the time it's going to go through. Also, the turret ring right here does exist all the way around, like you can see there. So you can see this is always weak. However, it's a very, very small pixel to hit. So only really go for this if you're kind of right up close in their face like this. Then you can aim down here and just get a shot on them like that. But if not, then just go straight through either side here, or just your low premium and you're 100% going to go through, especially with the 275 pen that the STA2 gets, which is very nice. So yeah, as you can see, the armor is not good. It's really not. You can't side scrape it in this tank, because as soon as you try and side scrape, you're just going to, well, yeah, I mean, you can side scrape, say, like this, but they can pen here. It's a tiny pixel shot. Also, a fun fact, this can be overmatched. This means you fire HE, you go here, you can pen it. Also, another fun fact about this tank, if you're slightly taller than it, and say you don't really want to shoot this, if you're face hugging it, just go there. You'll overmatch it. Anything, like this is what, a 90 caliber gun? So pretty much anything that you meet at tier 8 can overmatch this little bit of your tank. So as soon as they get close enough, and they're not going to need loads of gun depression to do this either, they can just go straight through here. Or alternatively, if you get around the back of this thing, shoot under here, never shoot here. Because if you shoot here, then it's completely weak. And you can easily fire some HE rounds into the back of this thing and do so much damage. Especially down here, because you'll hit fuel tanks and all the other stuff. Or if you're taller than it, just go and pen the engine deck, because why not? So yeah, that's pretty much the armor of this tank. Let's now hop back into game. And a player game, I suppose. Oh god. Okay, so let's get going, shall we? As you can see, this is the loadout that I've been using. We just hit 95%. I'm not staying there. Honestly, this is probably going to go down after this game, but we'll play maybe two games. Depends how it goes. If it's a really long game, then no. But it's on Ensk against tier 10, so yeah, this is going to be interesting. So yeah, tier 10s, good luck against tier 10s, because you're going to probably be starting to struggle against them. I don't agree that tier 8 should ever see tier 10 anyway. +1, -1 should kind of be a thing. I don't like +2. I don't like anything about it. We'll quickly go and enable this while we load in. Okay. So where are we going to go? Well, first of all, what I want to try and do is get to this spot here. If I can get to this spot here, then I can get some easy shots on anyone that's passing by over here, doing the cross like this. We may even be able to shoot some lightly armored targets, which we might be able to pen. So we'll try that and just see how it goes. Leo's going to do exactly the same thing as me. So we'll just put one into him, put a tracking shot, TP VTU as well. I'm going to try and track him again. Did that track him? No. But we did do some critical damage, which is nice. Defender, hello. He looks to be AFK. We might actually be able to get some shots onto him if we pen his cupola like this. Although, it's a tough shot. Ooh, okay. What we're going to do... Okay, I think this guy's going for Marks of Excellence. I'm not sure. But he put one into his truck there. So... Now this Leo is actually quite annoying. Put one into him. So we're already up to 1,000 damage, which is quite nice, kind of good. It's not too bad, especially for this game at the moment. But we're just going to be trying to get as much damage as we can early on. Because later on, if we start to get rushed by tier 10 heavies, we're not going to have such a nice time. So we're just going to be playing patiently. We don't need to do anything rash or fast in this tank. Not that you can do anything fast in this tank anyway. Takes forever to kill a tank, takes forever to get anywhere, takes forever to actually get your shot out. So yeah, we're just going to be taking our time. I don't want to face that guy actually. And what I'm going to do is... yeah, you know what? We're going to go and try and kill this guy. Because he's just shot his clip. So what we can do is just put one into the back of him. We'll back off for a second. Wait 3 seconds. I was tempted to try and track him. But it's not really going to work. What we're going to try and do... he'll try and clip me here. We're just going to take one, pull back. And like that. We get lucky. That was actually very lucky that he missed that shot. But right now, he's fired 2. I could go and kill him, actually. There's also going to be another tank that's going to come across here, which is going to be a T-30 in a second. Hello, Mr. T-30. And we're going to back off again. We're going to get ready to shoot the T-30 once more. There's quite a few buildings in the way. We weren't going to destroy that. Skoda's probably reloaded. Maybe. I don't know. He might... if he's gone for the full reload... but he's either got 1 shot or 3 shots. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit interesting. M48 pattern's going to try and come across there. I actually need to back off from here. I shouldn't stay here. The Skoda shouldn't peek me. I mean... it's a dangerous spot there, and there's no point in me sitting there anymore. What we're going to do is go back to our original position here. There's no point of going kind of into this city area here. There's just none. I'll track him once. And we get this... yes, we get all of that assistance damage for tracking. Very, very nice. Do you know what? Oh, I've made this tank look like it's good again. It's not. Hopefully you can actually see just how long this reload actually takes. The thing is, this tank would be completely playable and completely... well, it'd actually be a really, really nice tank if it had 240 alpha. But it doesn't. And because of that, it's just... it's kind of obsolete because... okay, hello. Because why would you pay money for this tank when you could go and pay money for like a T-54 Mod 1? Or anything else. Don't get me wrong. Like, if this tank is on sale for cheap, then yeah, get it. Like, if it's cheaper than every other Tier 8 Premium, then get it. Because, yeah, it's worth it. But if it's not... oh, that's a T-30. I don't think he's even looking at me. Is that T-30 looking at me? I don't know. We'll soon find out, I guess. So yeah. So don't get me wrong, like, if you're looking for just a credit grinder, then this tank isn't bad. But if you want to play it for Mark of Excellence, don't do it. It's not worth it. Okay. Yeah, we won't face him. We're gonna... that was that Jagdpanzer 100. Gonna apparently not track him. I wanted to try and track him, but that just didn't work. We might be able to get a shot on here. No. Now we just sit here and wait. It's okay. We've got all the time we need. Put one into him, and we'll just sit here. Like, we'll just sit here and just get all the assistance. We don't need to worry about this. All the assistance we need. And one more into him. Very, very nice. We'll just let him die. Hopefully. Please kill him. Okay, no one wants to kill him apparently. And then we'll just go like this. Hello, Mr. IS-7. How do you do? And we'll track you. You repair for whatever reason. Put another tracking shot into you. And we'll just sit like this. I don't mind, mate. Do whatever. You can see how much I mean by it blooms out. So yeah, it's really annoying when it does that. Hello, IS-7. What? Oh man. Okay, well, we're not actually going to play another game because I don't know. That's my highest damage game, I think. I don't even know what to say. Everything just went correctly in this game. Yeah. I mean, what more could you say? Like, mastery badge. We get nearly 5k damage. So yeah, everything went correctly. It's a bad tank. Don't get me wrong. It is a bad... Even the marks have updated now, so it's 2.6. Like, it is a bad tank. However, that is like a 1 in 10 game. And I got stupidly lucky that it was just my first try, right? So yeah, don't let that fool you. This tank can be absolutely terrible, and you saw how long it takes to reload the gun, to just move around the map. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then you know what to do. And yeah, I'll see you all in a bit. Don't buy this tank. Buy something else. Use your money smartly. See you later.